All right, hello everybody.
Hi everyone.
We have Miss Melissa, the boss lady's back in the hives today. She is doing the inspection, so this is a week 3 inspection of our package bees. And I'm gonna let Melissa take it away.
He's gonna talk too. I got the smoker, it's already lit, it's ready to go. You can kind of see some of the smoke coming out. So we're gonna knock on the front door here. You know, it's what we always do, let them know that we're about to invade their home. So after you've knocked on the front door a little, then we'll go ahead and just put the smoker down here out of the way and we'll get it all opened up.
You can see that they're not using very much sugar water, so it's been, what, about 3 days?
No, it's been longer than that. It's been almost a week.
Okay, yep. So basically that just says, hey, look, there's a lot of nectar and they don't really need the artificial nectar that we're giving them. So we'll leave it on there. You need to check it when it gets warm about every week, just because it'll kind of turn sour, starts turning into wine. So we don't want that to happen. As long as they're using it, we'll keep giving it to them. But if they're not going to use it, then, you know, the weather's been not as rainy as it was supposed to be, so they've been able to get out and forage.
I'm just taking off this inner cover here real gentle, and you can see they're real calm because, well, they kind of knocked at the front door. They're not going crazy. Yep. I'm just looking, making sure there's no queen on here or anything.
Checking the inner cover.
Yeah.
No queen.
And you noticed I had to use my hive tool because it's already starting to get a little...
They're already doing good with propolis.
Yeah, propolis there.
Here, we'll move this outer cover and put the inner cover on the front so they can climb up. Loose bees there can climb up the inner cover and go into the front of the hive.
You can give them just a little smoke here, so they stay down in the frames. So we'll start here like we always do here with the outer one. And there's a bee right there. So you can see how they're already getting a little bit tacky whenever I go to raise them up. Okay. And there's nothing on this one. I was just looking to make sure there wasn't a queen hanging out right there. We'll go ahead and put that on our little frame rest. We call those a frame perch. And I just kind of looking down here real quick. Got the sun in the way, but I don't see the
in the afternoon.
Yeah, I don't see the queen poking out there. So we'll go ahead and work on the next one here.
And then the first place we're going to look is this next frame, and boy, they already got that wax drawn. They're working on that frame. They've got this one. Got a lot done here.
And there's the queen right there. Do you see her, Dan?
Yep.
Yep.
Who saw her first?
Me.
Yeah, you did. You're getting good.
Look how fat she is.
Yes, good fat,
and it's
healthy
been
queens.
How long has she been in here? She looks like she's doubled in size.
This is 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And she's laying like crazy. This is actually why we're getting another round of package bees. This coming week, we're making another order. This will be the last order for live bees. We're sold out at Nukes. We can still get some packages, so we're actually going to get some additional packages to grow our own apiary.
Yeah. All right, and I want to get her back in there because...
Yep.
Yeah.
Put her on this outside.
All right. Now we know she's over there. We can kind of look and
safe there.
Let's look and see if she's laying some eggs, and then we'll be able to determine how many
she was doing really good last
frames
week.
Here she's
so
built out too.
I don't expect any problems. She's all the way out here on basically like the 8th frame out. So there's a good chance she's just out here looking for absolutely everything she could lay in.
Lots of nectar in there. Look at all that wax that they're building out there.
And there's eggs, so I'm going to try a little trick here, and there we go. Now you can see those are fresh eggs. They're standing straight up in the middle of the cells.
Did you show them which ones? I can't see it from the angle that you were looking at.
I'm using
Yeah.
technology to outsmart you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yep. So basically, as soon as they're laying,
Ooh.
comb, oh, drawing
Look
comb.
how pretty that is.
Yeah, that is all pollen.
Mm-hmm. I think it
Really
looks pretty.
cool. There's
Mm-hmm.
different color variations. They're bringing in all kinds of different goodies.
Now, that almost looks like an egg in that one bit of pollen there, but that's not. That's just part of the pollen. So that can be misleading.
Yeah,
You see that?
the queen won't lay an egg on top of pollen.
Yeah.
If you ever have something like that, that's a laying worker would sometimes do that, but sometimes there's a little bit of wax or some debris that gets into that cell, and so.
Mm-hmm.
not
Okay,
an egg.
tell them what that is up there by the end of the frame.
Yep. So this is obviously we have all of this is pollen,
Mm-hmm.
and then this is fresh nectar. You can see they're getting it full, and then when they get it full and dried down, you can see they start closing it up, and then eventually it turns into this capped honey. So you can see it's usually a little bit lighter in color, and it's all
It's
completely.
closed up.
This
yeah.
is all white, fresh wax, so it's all really pretty.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So basically, she's all the way out here laying. We don't have to go through the middle frames. We know that she's out here, so what we're going to do is close this gap up really gently because we don't want her trying to sneak around the frame
Yeah. We don't want to
and get
squish her.
into basically between these end bars. So we want to keep that closed up. That way we know the queen is nice and safe.
And if you look, if we're going to count frames here, if you zoom down there, Dan, you can see all the little heads popping
Yeah,
up
they're
looking at
covering
me.
all the brood.
Yeah. So if you go all the way out here, I don't see any here.
Come around here to
Yeah.
the front. So basically, they're
This-
from
This one.
this frame. So
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
6.
full frames of bees for sure. And
Mhm.
really, they're probably just starting to hatch or to emerge. And so this population is going to explode quickly. Now, wax-wise, they have much more progress because they are getting after it. We have basically the inside of this frame, so that's a half. We had the inside of this one about another half, so that's basically like one frame, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, and then I can see them working right here in the gap. So let's pull this outside and see how far they
Okay.
are. See if they're shifted over. Last week when we checked them, they were kind of shifted to this left side, and we moved one of the empty frames over to kind of index them over. We want to look and see how many frames they're actually working on here because we are getting very close to 70% where we need to add another box.
Oh yeah, they've not.
All right, so
They've
we're
not
going to take
done
that
anything yet.
frame and then
Okay.
go to the next one. Let's see where they're actually at. I'm guessing they're right at like 60%. Yeah, that's a blank frame. So we got 3 blank frames for sure.
Mhm.
And then
That
kinda-
one, look, you can see
yeah,
they're just
barely
starting to
starting.
draw.
So
yeah.
we're so very close. We're right at about 60%. So what we're going to do is same things we did last week. Because the entrance is on this left side of the box, so they're kind of cheating and getting lazy. They're staying on this left side of the box. The sun and kind of in the afternoon is over here, so it may be a temperature thing, but basically the brood pattern, they're kind of like offset to the left of the box still. We're going to do the same thing we did last week. We're going to index them over one frame. So we're going to put that frame back in, and then we're going to kind of shift all of the frames over in one set. Nice and gentle. And then we're going to put this frame from the right side in there, and then our
outside one.
outside frame, we're going to put it back too. So they will definitely be ready for another box next week.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Use your hive tool
Yeah, because
wedge
that's
it over
really
so that everything is
tight right there.
even.
What happens if you don't get it even, Dan?
One side is too close to the wall, and so they'll try to wax it to the wall, and the other side is too far away. They'll try to actually make an extra frame or a sheet of comb in there sometimes.
So now we're about even.
Yep, we're nice and even,
Yep.
and we're just going to pack them back up. That's all we needed to see. We saw queen, we saw eggs, we saw growth and expansion, strong, healthy bees. Absolutely nothing to be concerned about here.
Someone asked me this week where you put the notch here for your inner cover. What do you say about that, Dan?
So it depends. I like to put it in the front so that if they're using it as an entrance, then all of the bees are coming and going from the front of the hive, and when I'm doing my inspection, I'm on the back of the hive. Sometimes I'll put it in the back if I've got, like in the winter time, if I've got a hive that's got a moisture problem and the back of the hive's a little bit higher, I'll shift that entrance to the back to let some of the extra moisture kind of flow through the hive. That's it, again, it's kind of dependent. It depends on how much wind exposure you have, and so if you've got a lot of wind hitting the hive, you don't want to have where the wind can blow through the hives. So just, it depends.
Yeah. All right.
Typically 80% of the time I put it up in the front.
Do we give them sugar today? What do you think?
No, we're just going to leave it. You can actually see it's starting to drip a little bit onto the ground. That's they're not really using it. That's just the temperature change at night. It's changing the suction in the
It'll draw the ants too. There's a lot of sugar water dripping on the ground. Okay. So we got one done.
Yep, got them all strapped back up. We're good for the week.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everybody. See you later.
See ya.